Palm Tree, a series released in December 2024. Only 4 episodes, and the total time was 3.5 hours, telling various human groups who were trying to save themselves of a very powerful natural disaster. Okay, just let's get started. Enjoy. Is set on an island called La Palma, which has extraordinary beauty. Seen a small ship sailing there, and contains several tourists who are enjoying their holidays. Don't want to miss his vacation moments. One of the female tourists tried to plunge into the water. They all drowned, consumed by the natural beauty there. A week passed, then the scene, moving to a family that is also vacationing to the island that. Let's get acquainted with his family first. There was a father named Frederick, a mother whose name is Jennifer, and her 2 children, Sarah and Tobias. On the first day of his holiday, they met his brother at the hotel, where they will be staying. They probably made an appointment, then they went into their hotel room to rest first.
For a special day, right?
For a very special day.
Now, since moving to an office in CEP, near La Palma Island, seen a man named Alvaro, who was reading a newspaper, written about the boat accident news, which contains several tourists there. 2 bodies were found for which the cause was unknown, and now the corpse was in the hospital to run an autopsy. Then in the office NCAA there was also a woman who found things awkward. This woman named Mary. He saw one of the measuring instruments that NCAA placed in a cave located under the mountain turns out not to work. Mary and her friend went straight to the location to check the device. When I just entered the cave, they noticed some strange things, like water dripping heavily. Then the bats that seemed not long dead. After which they saw, it turned out that the tool was damaged by the rubble. When the man looks up, it looks like a crack.
That is a seriously big crack.
Then they went back to the office, and the fat man, it reads a research data 20 years ago from a scientist who came from Britain. That scientist theorized if the mountain on La Palma Island erupts, there would be a high probability mountain slopes as wide 500 kilometers will fall into the sea and would cause a very large tsunami. Area 500 kilometers. How much did I search on Google? 500 squares equivalent to the full city of Atlanta. So just imagine the entire city of Jakarta being thrown to the edge of the sea. Must have been terrible. But back again, that's just an analogy. Then the Alvaro, who is the chairman of NCAA, curious about the tourist who died, he immediately came to the hospital to see the autopsy results. He discovered a fact that the cause of death is carbon dioxide. Inside the lungs are very much wounds from the tourist as well, showing like a burn. That shows how hot water there at the time. Back to the Frederick family. I saw Sarah walking around, left her sister alone in the pool. Not long after, Frederick was very panicked because Tobias, who is not in the pool. Frederick immediately went around looking for Tobias. He also met Sarah and her friend to find. It turns out that Tobias is on top of the beach reef. As they approached Tobias, this is what Tobias saw. Back to the office NCAA. Women who are still curious about what is going on. He continued to study the odd phenomenon. Was there. He found the conclusion that the crack in the cave that he saw, it seems to be a crack coming from the top of the mountain. To make sure that, they both went to the mountains to see it. Continue how many? Yes. And sure enough, there was a very long crack. The 2 of them immediately measured the crack using a crack gauge that works with sensor systems.
Yeah, not by much, but
After installed the tool, they realized something, that the measurement sensor continues to widen. That thing showed that the land was actually moving. The man immediately called Alvaro to tell him, but in the office, Alvaro saw that there was a mountain movement, which allows those cracks to eject gas. They both told them to immediately go from there in order to save themselves. These 7 will. The woman who had just realized being in a hospital, fortunately, it's fine. But different from his male friend who was in a coma. Knowing disaster is coming soon, Mary called right away his sister to leave La Palma Island immediately. But his sister, who really likes the beauty of the island, it doesn't matter what Mary says. Mary also asked to meet her sister at home later tonight because this is a very important thing and not mess around afterwards. Alvaro was seen visiting Mary. There Alvaro showed him a laptop. He told the crack measuring instrument he put on the mountain, it still keeps moving until now. Even though the movement is very slow, can't even be seen with the naked eye. But it's still a very dangerous thing. They were soon met the communications minister to inform what is going on. There Alvaro asked the Minister of Communications to immediately carry out the order, evacuation to all residents near La Palma Island. But the minister refused and grumbled. Because if an evacuation order was executed, there will be panic at all levels of society. There could be looting. There will be a lot of criminalization, noise, and so forth. The minister said he was ready to announce, as long as the data from Alvaro is valid data and not hoax. Alvaro also said this. But still, the minister seems to be ignoring serious information from Alvaro. Move to Frederick, who is enjoying a vacation with his family. Okay guys, information from in this part, I will speed up. Story from the point of view of the Frederick's family. Besides being boring, the story is also just his son, Sarah, met a woman there. Then love each other. Yaps, they are same-sex enthusiasts. Even Jennifer, supporting the turning relationship that his son did. Blah 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 blah. They go about their vacation with some same-sex drama, which is ridiculous. Also an argument between Frederick and Jennifer, who looked overbearing. Until one day, Patrick was seen relaxing in the pool, saw a mountain eruption. Makeup. After the existence mountain eruption, one plane that crashed as a result of penetrating the explosion, seen the new communications minister following up on the warning from Alvaro related to the evacuation. Important people in the government of the country doing online meeting with Alvaro and his team. The government promises will immediately prepare a notice. Tsunami danger to the people of La Palma. In his heart, Alvaro said it might be too late, but rather than doing nothing, Alvaro asked that the government focus, don't have too much bureaucracy, and move fast right now. Then at night, looks Mary, who get calls from family at home. Who told me the bad news? Mary went straight home. When Mary's at home, she saw her sister, who seems to be in trouble with the police because of a bottle of alcoholic beverage. With the intention of defending her sister, Mary accidentally hit the policeman. Mary was taken to the police station and get charged acts of violence to state officers. Then Mary had to wait in the cell until there was a lawyer who came to vouch for him. And now on the other side, shown at the central office, the government is having an impromptu meeting related to a possible disaster in La Palma. To avoid panic in the community, required everyone in the government must keep secret that thing, at least until the official notice. Yet it looks, there was a man named James who had an expression. Suspicious. It looks like it will do something. Moving again to the Frederick family who saw it have fun enjoying the holidays. On that day, they relax and swim in the hotel pool. Suddenly, Jennifer got a call from the government guy, whose name is James. It turns out that James is Jennifer's older brother because Jennifer is his younger brother. James also told him secretly, so that Jennifer and his family could have saved themselves first. James also gave information about the plane crash. The airport has been closed, yet there is one airport that will do flights. The airport was called Tenerife. To get there, Jennifer had to board a small ferry, which will depart in 20 minutes from the harbor. Now Jennifer and the family immediately packed up and will immediately go to that port to board a ship. While they're waiting for a taxi, I didn't see any taxis there. Remembering the rest of the time, that can't be enough. Patrick, who saw a car parked with keys in it, desperate to bring the car. He drove to the harbor, frantically being chased by the one with the car. He finally made it to the port. But when you get to the port, this also happened. Amira. Afterwards, Frederick, who was left behind, tried to find another way. He tried to rent a boat to Tenerife, but not allowed by the guard, because the Tenerife is too far and there are procedures that must be adhered to. Frederick constantly persuaded him, but it's still not allowed to sound the alarm of disaster there. And also seen an eruption of the mountain. All citizens are encouraged to go to Tenerife Airport and board the plane. Finally, with a little scramble for places, Frederick also found a place on a small ship. But when it's about to leave, there was a mother carrying a baby. Asked for help to get on the boat. With everyone pretending not to listen, mother and a baby, that Patrick did this. Then it was Patrick who gave up and sit in a place. In the midst of the panic of all the people who want to save myself, Patrick preferred to sit in front of the police station and called his wife to say goodbye. Adu Sadi. Don't want to just give up. Sarah tried to call James and tell that Frederick is still left in La Palma. James could not do anything, and maybe only prayer will save the Frederick. There, moved to Mary, who was still in the suspect's cell. Seen his sister who stole a key cell to save Mary there. When Mary was able to leave the cell, there were other prisoners who, Unpleasant Face, also asked to be released. Mary also let her go. When outside, it turned out that things were already very severe. There was also a Frederick in front of the police station. Heard that Mary was going to the dock to save herself. Frederick told him that it was too late. All boats have left for Tenerife. But luckily Mary's sister has good news. By getting hope back, Patrick was excited again and immediately headed to the ship. At the same time, in government offices, James, who was still trying to save people in La Palma, also suggested to the minister's leadership in order to bring in expert researchers waves for tsunamis that would happen. But it looks like the leader who doesn't approve of his idea. Government is afraid if the wave counter is wrong in the calculation, and the people in La Palma died on the advice of a safe haven from the government will be blamed. So it's better for the government to keep quiet and let disaster just be in La Palma. Don't add disaster to the government. But from the heart of James, who thought that at least there was an attempt to save themselves, then to give up. He also brought wave expert and told him to count quickly. The expert also studied the map and the location of that mountain in La Palma. With its geographical calculations, if the mountain falls into the ocean, it will look the direction of the tsunami and the possible height. Seen in the picture of the expert, that the tsunami will not occur in only one direction, but the tsunami that have two directions that may collide. So that the odds would diffuse that tsunami, and there will be safe places. But it's just a possibility. There are some hills there that might be safe, but the hill will find gas pollution, dangerous from a mountain explosion, and the gas will be carried away by the tsunami wind. But experts also say that there is a 50-50 chance to be safe, which is if the people can make it to the hill. Canaria, which is near La Palma Island, the hill is also not too high and still very likely to be reached. Found the data. James returned to the leader and suggested publishing the results from experts. That wave, so that people who don't get on the plane can get there. But the leader didn't want to risk and attach importance to the good name of the government only. It's annoying that this is the leader. And now back to Patrick and immediately headed to the ship. Then Jennifer, Sarah, and Tobias, who have made it, was at the entrance of the plane, but with a very annoying and made me as an emotional spectator. How can it be? Sarah doesn't want to go without a woman named Charlie, which is her turning partner. Sarah also insisted on getting on the plane. After successfully finding his girlfriend, his mother had already warned that if Sarah could find even Charlie, Charlie still couldn't get in because Charlie didn't have a bracelet to get on the plane. But Sarah irritatingly said that he would give his father a ration bracelet. And his mother also allowed. Maybe his mother had resigned because she saw the possibility. Cedric can't get to the airport. The moment after Sarah left, seen everyone being told to get on the plane. Look, Jennifer, who panicked because Sarah didn't get on the plane. After a long wait, and the plane that looks like it's leaving, because there was no way longer waiting for the people, Jennifer chose to get off the plane to find Sarah.
Yes, but we have to wait for my daughter. Yes.
And in government offices, there are many press media that will interview on how the country would deal with this disaster. When the leadership will get ready to give the news to the press, very stupid, James stepped onto the dais and told all the press, and then ordered them to deploy. News that there's a safe place near La Palma.
Det finns en safe spot.
Then on the other side, Cedric, who just got to the mainland, shocked by the earthquake and eruption from the mountain. It ensures that he won't be able to make it to the plane. But he found a message from James about that secure location. When he checked it, the location seems not far away, but he had to get back on the boat, and it's possible to get hit by a tsunami because the mountain is already landslides. But inevitably, he also tried his last attempt and still go on that trip. Back to the airport, Sarah was on the plane with her boyfriend, and Jennifer's unfortunate, still outside looking for her, seen Sarah calling his mother and said that is on the plane, but because the mountain has already landslides and tsunamis and just waiting for the tsunami time to get ashore, the plane will soon fly. But on the other, Jennifer also read the message from James, who told him to safe place. Jennifer went there, along with Tobias and one of the airport staff, seen Patrick, who racing against the terrible tsunami behind it. Jennifer is heading to safety, and the plane that was about to take off. But when the plane was about to fly, cracks in the asphalt or ground track aircraft. The plane was eventually eroded by the tsunami. Seen on the other side, Patrick and Mary survived with the other people there. Jennifer, who also survived, was there. Then how is Sarah and his girlfriend in a plane eroded by the tsunami? Let's check. Apparently, Sarah and her boyfriend instead survived the impossibility. It might be God wanted to make it live to collect more sins. Or maybe God gave him time to repent. Then after, Sarah went to the safe location to meet his family. With a very ending. Very divide. The movie was finished. Because this channel I created is a new channel, I would really appreciate if you please write criticisms and suggestions in the comments section. For you who enjoy enough, please subscribe, please subscribe, please subscribe, please.